If you leave the room thinking, did I sound dumb? Was I annoying? Did I talk too much? Or do uncomfortable things just so someone else doesn't feel uncomfortable? Then this is for you. This is a podcast about girlhood, womanhood, and what we've experienced. This is where we will share stories, some funny, some not so funny. Here we all share one thing. We're anxious as fuck.
Hello and welcome to the, I don't know which episode of Good Girls Have Anxiety. I'm Caitlin.
I'm Lane.
And I'm Laura.
And this is Laura. So we record at Laura's house as often as we can. And Laura's like my cousin-in-law. I don't know. What are you? Like, is that a thing?
I just call you my cousin.
Yeah. Okay, that works. I like it. And today, okay, I call Laura Lala. So does my daughter because I love reality TV, as does Laura. And one of the characters from Vanderpump Rules is Lala. And that's how Laura, Lala. And another show that we love to watch is Love is Blind. Mm-hmm. And all of us are watching Love is Blind right now. We're still in the pods. Lane has already only watched 4 episodes in. So we're going to try and dial it back and not get to the end of the pods. But let's break this down. Who do we like?
Okay, but I feel like I'm going to have bad opinions because you guys know ahead of me.
But
okay.
no, it's not bad opinions because it's just what do you think right now?
The guys, as we all know, they all look the same. Just a few of them, just a few.
Also,
are
all people from Minneapolis freaks?
I think so. I've been to Minneapolis and it was weird.
If we know anything, you didn't watch it, but know it, Summer House.
Yeah.
Another reality show.
I love Summer House.
One guy on there is from Minnesota.
Luke?
Yes. And he's a freak. So, if I'm judging characters based on that, that's how I'm going into Love is Blind.
I just, I feel like Mason, for example, was confused with whether he was calling, Lifeline, Java Lifeline, the 188 midnight calls, where they, call and talk to, the operator.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Hey, are you wearing a mini skirt? It was cringe.
Do you want to talk about the boys first or the girls?
I'm going to scroll the whole time.
Okay.
You start with whoever you want to start with.
Okay. So where I'm at right now, and I think that this will change, I really don't like Dave.
No.
I like Mason, but he kind of reminds me of one of my exes, so I have to get through that. But I don't mind him. I think he's okay. And I like Alex so far, the nerdy one.
Interesting.
But I haven't seen anything bad from them yet.
Reactions. These are blind. We're good. So my favorite. Okay, first of all, I just have to make this comment. Monica and Joey are Labradors.
Wait.
They are so cute.
Yeah.
I just love them. I want to snuggle them. I want to give them a dog bed and hand them their food every once in a while. Maybe a treat.
I will say, though, I usually like long hair on men, but Joey is the first guy I've ever seen that I'm like, you'd look better with short hair.
Oh, no. I do not find him even the slightest bit attractive.
Yeah. I feel like he'd look so much cuter with short hair.
Yeah. He also sounds like my cousin. He, not any, I don't think you know this cousin. So, I have family in Ontario, and he's he looks kind of the part. If my cousin had long hair,
he looks like he could be from Ontario.
Yeah, but even the way he speaks is almost like the Canadian, the hollow.
Well,
Canadian.
They say Minneapolis, Minnesotan people are basically just Canadian.
Yeah,
they just have a different flag.
But hopefully, I hope we're not. They're freaks, man. The conversations are getting ick. No? Have you gotten there yet?
Which conversations? In the pods?
Just...
Dave is always kind of ick to me. Yeah. David?
But see, that's a perfect example. What is that guy's deal?
Can we talk about the fact when he said girl drama? Did you guys catch that?
No, I don't want to get in the middle of the girl drama. Well, it's not girl drama. You're just
being crazy.
Yeah.
Literally. But first of all, it's not girl drama. They're just trying to decide what to do with the rest of their lives, and they didn't even talk to each other.
He was validating both of them.
Yeah.
He wasn't even remembering.
He's literally creating the drama,
and all he's thinking about is his sister. So
yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. It was very gaslighting.
Yeah,
that's girl drama. But meanwhile, it cuts to the guys in their room, talking the same amount of shit.
Yeah.
okay, bros talk way more shit.
Yeah.
Like,
the girls are always really nice to each other on Love is Blind, I find. Like, sometimes they have a little bit of, like, a little out, but, like, they're mostly, like, pretty chill. The men sometimes, though, are not very nice to each other.
Did you notice the men were using names?
In the quarters?
Yeah.
No.
Like, when they would go back, they would name the girl they were talking to.
Oh.
Whereas the girls weren't.
and I liked that, but then it almost made it, like, more confusing and catty. Like, how do we feel about Molly?
Oh, my God. I have mixed feelings.
Me too.
I liked her when she walked in, but I feel like, okay, this is going to sound really bad, but I feel like, I said this to my mom the other day, I feel like if you vibe with a guy like David, you have red flags.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you should not be vibing with him at all. And then,
You should know by that age that guy is, like, red flag,
all
flag,
he did was
toxic.
complain about women and say how badly he treats women.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally all
So
he
what's
did.
wrong with you?
Yeah.
You are what's wrong with me.
Literally.
Like, guys like you are what's wrong with me, and I'm gonna learn from you. Like, I'll be honest, like, I think with Dave, like, when I first, like, was, like, listening to him and stuff, I feel like that's a guy that I would have gone for, or, like, that I would have, like, briefly dated in, like, my dating years. And then you kind of, like, grow up and you go, that guy's broken, he needs therapy, it's not a me problem, it's a you problem, bro. Like, I'm bye.
Yep. He's the kind of guy that, like, I feel like is the life lesson. Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one before you.
Yeah, literally, yeah. And so I feel like for Molly, like, sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I think she's probably pretty nice. I don't think she's, like, mean to the other girls very much.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, man, you're kind of, if you're vibing with him that much, how nice could you really be, you know?
I feel like her and Lauren are a little...
Lauren's a little off.
What about hers off?
I don't know. My boyfriend and I were saying just in her eyes. Something was off in her eye. I don't want to be mean, but, like, something was just off in her eyes.
But I feel like even, like, she's kind of like a Dave. But I feel like she doesn't want to be a Dave anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
she's trying to grow. She wants something, but she's, like, lost maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel like that's the whole thing with the show where, like, you notice a lot of things about, like, yourself and, like, where you've learned and, like, the person you want to be, don't want to be. And she's somewhere where I think, like, she's still at, like, the premise of, like, being broken. I don't know. She's interesting.
I really like Madison. I hope.
Whoa.
Oh, did that get bad?
Well, okay, so
Ooh,
Madison is the one who, like, trauma dumps.
Yes.
Does she
we were
trauma
texting
dump?
about her?
I don't know if she trauma
She
dumps.
trauma dumps. But here, okay, I feel like if there's one person I think I relate to the most, it's Madison. But she is also, like, the worst parts of me that I think I relate to.
I guess she kind of, like, talks about her trauma a lot, but I feel like there's such a big part of her life, though.
Fair.
Like, I feel like she has to, like, I would feel bad, like, getting to know somebody and not telling them that, like, my family, like, were drug addicts.
I just find her very manipulative. And she knows what she's doing. Like, and she even admits it at times. Like, I watched again today because I wanted to kind of be a little bit more fresh. And, like, I noticed how manipulative she was being even earlier on, where she goes into, she made some comment about, like, yeah, like, I've had a lot of people be jealous of me in my life. And I just, like, I egged them on. I don't remember, like, the exact words that she used, but she was like, if somebody's jealous of me, I just, like, make it worse. It's one of the worst things they can do is be jealous of me, because I'll just, like, make them hurt even more and make them eat their words or whatever. She just very manipulative, and I think that she liked being in the middle of, or she likes being in the middle of other people's stuff to, like, validate her own importance. And I'm saying this as somebody that I'm not proud of this. I have been that girl. When I was very low on myself, I definitely, when, like, I saw, like, a guy's eye wander, I went in on it because I wanted to validate myself. But, like, with growth, you get past that and you get your karma. I'll be honest. I think I got my karma. And I feel like she's just kind of, like, living in that. And she's what, like, 28? Girl, like, I feel like she's not on the show for the right reasons. Like, if anybody's, like, the bottom of the scale of ready to be in a long-term committed marriage, she's at the bottom of the barrel.
I never thought about it from that perspective. I just thought she was being, like, open.
I literally texted Kate and I was like, Monica needs therapy. Or Madison.
Madison,
Not
yeah.
Monica. Monica is the Labrador. And that's what you texted me.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Mason?
Uncle Macy. I like him, but I I don't like. Okay, the sex talk was too much. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no.
Like,
I get that.
That was
Yeah,
him.
that was him.
But he
mixing them all up. I'm sorry.
They all kind of look the same this season. It's a
They
little
do.
confusing. Mason reminds me so much of my ex, who we could talk about it.
Do I know this ex? Okay.
And he just reminds me so much of him.
Really?
Like literally so much. Like even the way he like sits. But
They're kind of a lot alike.
I know. But he's not like they're both nice.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, like I think he's nice, but maybe a little bit naive.
Yeah.
I think he's getting like tricked by the pretty manipulative.
But that's
girls.
what I mean. Like with Madison, even behind a wall, she was able to sexually manipulate him in a conversation, and he could have a great, strong relationship with Meg, who's like obsessed with him. And like they have so much in common, like all that alien stuff. Like,
Yeah.
dude, like she's lucky
Meg
that
is
he was
cute.
She's so cute, but she's like
weird though. She's like quirky.
yeah,
But she's cute.
But I felt like I feel like Mason matches her weird.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's like getting like easily swayed against because this girl's wanting to have sex talk with him. You know? Do you see it now with Madison, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at her different now because she's been like my favorite. Because I'm like, oh, she's so open and like she's so strong. But now I'm like, is she though, or is she just kind of
But
crazy?
she's the cool girl.
Yeah.
Like I feel like she's like the parts of us that like are maybe not our strongest, you know? Like I definitely related to her a lot at first, and then I really saw what she's doing and I was like, you're reminding me of all the icky things that I've ever done that hurt people in my life.
That's very interesting. Because I don't think I ever really was like that. Like too, like I just don't think I was. Like I wasn't ever really like going out all the time and like meeting a bunch of guys. Like that just wasn't what I was doing a ton. So that's kind of interesting to hear it from that perspective, because like I would never have thought about it like that. I just thought she was being open, because I don't have a story like that either, like with parents that like don't care about me and stuff. So like I wouldn't know what to do in that situation. Like I feel like all I do on Love Is Blind is talk about my family, and like then you get on like her side and you're like, oh, she's just trying to be open and honest with these people. Like you're walking into some crazy ass family, like you gotta marry me, you're gonna marry this, you know?
And I think that is all valid, but it was the other thing. Like it was the turn of conversations and like acting like she didn't care about certain things. But like, okay, when she did like the tapping thing, oh, you're not there yet.
No.
It's okay.
I know.
You can spoil it.
It's spoilers.
Let's just spoil it. It's all right.
But I think it's not going to be a spoiler. It's just I'm not going to spoil who everybody ends up with.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. If that's, yeah. But Madison seemed to like see people's weaknesses and play on them. And at one point she's tapping her fingers and Alex goes, oh, like, can you like not do that? And she's like, what, is it making you anxious? And he goes, yeah. And she keeps doing it.
And then she was like, well, I'm anxious too.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel this bad, so I'm gonna make you feel.
Yeah. It was just like, it was very, like, it was manipulative.
Huh.
And like, and as soon as Mason said that he liked her, or that he was like going to be more open, I'm going to ruin this one, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
She fully made this face like, ew.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that.
You saw that?
Yeah. And
she's like, I'm done with him.
Yeah.
So as soon as she like really like infiltrated that relationship, he could have had something.
Well,
really
she also
good.
said she had the avoidant attachment style.
Sure.
Which is like the hardest attachment style, I think, because you're like the type to just cut and run really fast. Whereas like anxious attachment style, at least you're trying to like work on it and stay with the person. But avoidant is like, bye, peace out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that you have to work on before you go onto a show like this, where like as soon as, but she was asking him to validate her feelings, and then for her it was almost like, I won, now you're screwed, bye, I'm over you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost like she was really happy to reject someone.
Yes. Yeah.
I never thought about it that way. I'm gonna rewatch it tonight, and then I'm gonna.
Yeah, now I want to rewatch all the pods.
But that's where
I was not paying her money. I was just like, who are they gonna end up with?
So yeah, sometimes the pods kind of drain for me a little bit. Like they just like go on and on and on. Sometimes, and I like fast forward through a couple of things.
So much,
Me too.
Am
Me too.
I ever gonna go on a date again? Because
Me too.
this is awful.
I wish we had this podcast when it was like Chelsea
Yeah.
and I forget all the other
Chelsea's
names.
the pink girl, right? She was like, everything was pink. Seattle?
Yeah.
She had like a pink toaster.
Yeah.
And what was her guy's name?
Oh, I just saw a TikTok of them because they're still together.
They're so cute. I think they are. So she was, Meg and Chelsea remind me of each other. But I feel like she would be like the most loyal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like she's probably like the most ready to be with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, of all the people that we saw at least. There's some really good ones every year. Oh, okay. Taylor and Dan. I love them. Like, love. I like, if there's one guy that I would like if maybe one day, you know, when I was much younger and on my date, like, he's somebody that I would totally like want to date, but I would feel like I wasn't good enough for him. Like, that guy has like a good head on his shoulders. I love him.
Okay, wait.
But again, bad judge of character. If something happens, like if he's like the Steven of last season, like
I think he's nice. No, I've gotten good vibes from Daniel. I was going to say we should say who we would pick if we were in the pod.
marry, date, F.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Wait, but
honey.
somebody's got to give me
hope my
options.
husband doesn't
Or are we
listen to
just doing
this.
the whole thing? Like all of them?
Pick from all of them.
Oh, okay.
Except they didn't. Okay, this season, what I kind of miss is like they didn't show a lot of like there's a lot of people in the background. I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we could at least get to know them. Like, put them out there.
Like Yemi.
Let
Like
them,
who's
you know,
Yemi?
have a good dating profile after
Yeah.
this. Like, what if one of them was the ones we'd want to go after, but
Okay. I'm
not with the TV though.
between them, I don't know. I don't actually find a lot of them that attractive this season.
Okay, I'll go first. I would marry Daniel. I would. It's kill, right?
Yeah.
Okay, marry Daniel. Kill Dave? No, definitely. Why did I even have to think about that? Who would I bang a dang? None of them, man.
I know. I
They all
don't.
suck. Daniel again. You win.
He just gets it all.
Daniel gets it all.
Oh. See, because I feel like you guys are going to judge me because I haven't seen their bad
But that's
sides
okay.
yet.
It's okay.
Okay.
They're all sociopaths. It doesn't matter.
From what I know so far, I would probably marry Alex. Just from what I know so far.
Okay. Right.
Because he's like more of my type. He's like kind of nerdy.
You haven't seen him on like Criminal Minds or anything, like, you know.
Yeah.
He's not keeping anybody in a
No.
garage.
No. He's like kind of more of my type, like in terms of like his personality, and like
Okay.
he's like nerdier and like chiller. And I feel like that'd be like good.
He does seem emotionally intelligent, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Kill David.
Kill me, fuck that guy.
And I don't know. I don't really find any of them all that appealing.
I know, right? It's so hard to say that we'd bang somebody. I can't even say it.
Probably Daniel. I guess.
That's
Yeah,
my guy.
I guess. But in terms of like attractiveness, maybe Devin.
Devin is cute.
He's cute.
He is cute.
I know he's problematic, but he's cute.
Yeah. As long as you've never seen a woman before.
Literally. As long as I have,
As
Yeah.
long as you're
as long as I'm 100% straight,
straight.
it's fine.
Okay. Going with the consensus of killing Dave.
Obvious.
He just gives me used car salesman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
he is. He's sleazy.
And like he's just selling himself and
He
He's
sells
sleazy.
Botox, so
yeah.
Does he really?
that's
Oh.
his thing. He has like like his own.
I have side
Oh yeah,
businesses.
he explained that though. That's actually fucked
That's
up.
my impression. I have a lot of side businesses.
Huh.
AKA you don't have a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's unemployed.
I would probably marry Daniel because he's like the most grounded. But you know what? I'm gonna throw in a wrench because I know he wasn't featured on it, but Andrew I think is the most attractive, but also weird because that's my brother's name.
No, that is.
Okay, I'm
But
learning
Andrew
about
is
your
pretty
type.
cute.
Give him a nickname. But
See, I don't find Andrew
Ooh.
that attractive, but I'm learning about your
he's
type.
tall.
He's cute. He's cute.
He's okay.
A moment for Andrew. Oh, I feel like Brad already like negative. Oh, Tom, ew.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
Tom is not hit,
Mo's
no.
cute. Brian's cute.
But can we also note, and I think this also goes for
Hugo.
dating apps, why do all the women, like they're all super beautiful, put together, but the men, I'm like, could you put an outfit together to save your life? Could
I
you
think-
wash your hair?
I think because okay, here's my philosophy on women. Literally every girl is pretty.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that. And it's not even like a feminist thing, like every girl. No, like literally, like there is something beautiful about every girl that you see. And there's something appealing about every woman that you see. For men, it's not always that way.
No.
Like, you have to be, like, attractive man.
But I feel like for men, a lot of the time, it's just, you have to have good hygiene, and not all of them seem to be able to nail that.
Yeah, like, you have to know how to do your hair and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's always something redeeming about women.
Yeah.
Like, they're always, something about them is, like, attractive.
Aww.
I think that, though, because I look at girls and I'm like, there's, like, a million things that are pretty about you, and then you'll look at a guy and you'll be like, okay.
When you can see the effort, you're like, oh, yeah, I see how your shirt matches your pants. Like, that's
Or like
cute.
that you washed your face yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or your hair.
Yep. Yep.
I love how every time we wash our hair, like somebody's like, "Oh, your hair looks different." I love that. We just forgot about Ben and Joey, but I also wouldn't.
I think maybe I'd marry Joey. He's cute. He's sweet.
I would need duct tape over his mouth for like 23 hours.
Really?
He sounds like my cousin though. Like,
So much energy.
I actually don't think Joey's that unattractive. I think I'd like him a lot better with short hair.
I'd go to the bar with him, but
Joey's way more of my type than the
Yeah.
other boys. Yeah. I like I've always liked longer
Yeah.
hair, scruffier hair. Like, if you've seen my boyfriend, he's got like really curly, like crazy hair. And when I met him, it was a lot longer, and now it's shorter, but like it was longer. And yeah, but like, the first man I've ever thought in my life, you'd look better with short hair. I feel like you should cut it.
and he just like grew it out, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
doesn't really
so
know how to do it.
we'll tell at the reunion if they're still together immediately, because if he walks out with a good haircut, that means he got married
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
and he stayed together.
And they stayed together. Let's hope. Okay, that's all we're gonna talk about for now because we still have to get out of the pods and talk about that in the next episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had one of like, you know, like your fiasco with like the $85 tote bag.
Yeah.
I had a similar interaction today. So I'll try to summarize this and make this as clear as possible. But long and short of it, I've been trying to find us the right hats at the right price for a long time because things are expensive and I want to make sure like the hats are accessible for everybody, but it's also something you and I can be proud of and we can share with everybody and that we're going to wear happily and it'll fit my weird head. And so
I also have a weird head.
and perfect. So we all have weird heads. And so I've been getting a couple different samples just like to get like the right thing. And then I went to a supplier that I've spoken to before because I use them through work and they ended up giving us like a really good deal. They sent me these hats and in the pictures they looked great. They looked like a nice soft like twill cotton. The proofs looked good. And then I see them and bruh.
They're fugly.
They're fugly. Like, they're bad. And I'm glad you guys are, like, I feel like you and I are, like, we don't offend each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I seeing something that's not there? Like, am I overthinking this? Is, like,
They look like plastic.
They look like
like they're
plastic.
shiny plastic hats.
Yeah, they look like, you know, like the,
Yeah.
like, they look
Yeah.
like you can scratch on them and it,
Yeah.
be like
They make
the,
a sound.
The millennium, the agendas from when
Oh,
we were kids.
yeah, the agenda.
Like that. Like that's what I like when I saw it, that's what I thought of. And it just didn't look right. And so, but I had already ordered 25 of 2 different colors and was set them to embroider. So like I emailed them and I was like, I don't like the hats. Like, what are my options? And he was like, well, you don't really have an option. We've already ordered these just for you and they're already on the assembly line. And then he emailed me back a little while later and he was like, well, I don't want you to hate them. So how about, like, what do you think of them now? Like, we tried them on a different mannequin because they weren't going to send me a proof. I had just like randomly been like, send me a proof so I could put it on our website like as a placeholder for when we're ready to sell. And so he did, and he probably regrets that now. And so anyways, like he was like, well, we don't really have many options. And he comes back later, I don't really want you to hate this. So here's it on another mannequin. Let me know what you think. And I was like, well, I still don't like it. It doesn't look
Still the
good.
same hat.
It's still the same hat. It just doesn't look right. Like, can you just send me the 2 that you've printed? Send me those, and then I could decide from there. And he's like, okay, yeah, like, let's do that. We're going to waive the restocking fee. We'll just charge you for these 2 hats and shipping. And like, let me know where to go from there. Like, I hope this like it just like kind of like builds a rapport with us. Like, I'm doing this as almost like a favor. Like, he didn't use the word favor, but he's like, I want to like make sure that a relationship stays strong. I'm like, okay, cool. But I also have a supplier closer to me. And I went to that supplier kind of just like to check out the hat like that I would want. So I can just send them the product code and be like, this is the hat that I want. Proceed like that. Well, then I ended up like meeting the people from this place that's really close to home. They brought me into the back room with both of my kids. They're showing me all the machines. I end up talking to the girl who's, she's making this, they have this like, it's not a vinyl transfer. She called it something else. It's like way cooler. She showed me trucker hats that I want to do like in the future. She said that she would even like design stuff for us because she's an artist and so is her dad. I was like hanging out with the owner. He was like, oh, my kids are in here all the time. It's pretty kid proof. Like it was a whole experience. It was beautiful. And they took the time where multiple of them were standing with me, showing me hats. It was a fucking experience. And it made me feel so good and excited. And they were excited for us. And then she quoted me originally with what she would like charge for the hats. And I was like, ooh, no, like that's too much. Like that'll make me go back to the other people. And I told her what the other people were charging. And she was like, ooh, I can't go that low, but I can go this price. And that price I think is doable, especially because we're going to get what we want. It's local. You and I can go there anytime we want. And the kids can run around their place. I'm just
It's free babysitting.
It's free babysitting. Blake wanted to go to the lunchroom. Like she was like, Mom, the kitchen. Maybe there's some Welch's in a cupboard somewhere. And it was a whole experience. And then I get home and it's like I read that email again from the original like supplier. And it's just like, yeah, like we're sending it out now. Let me know how it goes. And I'm like, well, now I'm not going to go to you guys. Like I'm going to go to this place in Airdrie. So now I've had like all this like guilt of.
Oh, that's what you meant by guilt.
Yeah. Because then he knows it's a podcast. The people in Edmonton know that it's a podcast that like we're doing. And like, as I explained it a little bit, like I need my costs pretty low because it's not like we're making money. Like I, was looking for a little bit of like a favor, I guess. And he did the favor. And now I'm probably not going to go to that.
Well, don't do a favor if you're going to do it shitty. That's how I feel about it.
And I don't like it was
match the original.
It didn't.
It really didn't.
And see, that's where like I'm in my head, and I'm like
even like a darker color than the picture.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like it's
literally a darker color.
I really, if this is you listening, turn it off. See that's where like I'm anxious.
Please continue to listen to the other episodes so we
but like keep listening. No. But like honestly, it's just one of those things where it's just like you gotta do what's best for you, and you can't feel bad.
And that's okay. But if somebody told you that at the fair where you were like or whatever it was, don't get the $85. But like they won't miss my business. But I will have guilt. I'll like go with my tail between my legs when I return to work next year. I'm gonna go. I'm like, hey, can I order some promo shirts? And they're gonna be like, no.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no.
But you'll be ordering in bulk and giving him tons of money.
And I'm gonna change my name, change my identity.
Just make
I'm gonna quit my job.
Make the receptionist do it.
Yeah. You're a manager delegate.
But, oh man, just too funny. I'm gonna make Sean do all of it. You think, Sean, they don't like me anymore.
I really thought you were gonna say you were gonna be guilty because the hats didn't, like guilty to me because the hats didn't turn out, and I was like, no, girl, it's fine. It's not your fault.
I'm actually like sweating right now talking about the whole situation, so like I can feel my like body really, really warm.
I love that you like went to a supplier to like, was it today or yesterday?
Yeah,
today. That's initiative. We love that.
Yeah.
We love the initiative.
In person? Like, really? I don't even take a phone call.
No.
But see, look at what happened when I just like went off of a picture online, and I got these like they look like Dollar Tree hats.
No, they really do.
Chicka Millennium Agenda.
Yeah, they really do.
That's all I could. No, it doesn't even do that anymore.
No,
because
they don't.
agenda
Likes
no, they don't
like that.
They actually do.
They do.
Yeah.
For ASMR.
No, like my brother got one at school. His agenda is like the scratchy hologram.
Another brother?
No, my 2-year-old brother.
Really?
Yeah, he goes to like a preschool daycare situation and they give him agenda, and it's not like homework. It's literally just like things that he did that day. So the teacher writes in it.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
Too. How's he writing?
No. The teacher writes like, "Oh, Zion had a great time in gym today. He climbed the climber." Yeah,
Aww,
yeah.
so
But it's that scratchy agenda. I didn't know they still made it. It made me happy when I saw it because I got those too. Like my whole childhood, I got the scratchy agendas.
I do like apps now though, where they.
That's depressing.
Yeah, they do. Some of them do. Like, so where Blake goes to Montessori, like,
Oh, she was.
she goes 3 days a week in the morning, and it's amazing. Like the teachers are
Yeah.
fantastic, but they try to keep the costs low. So they don't do a lot of things. Like if I were to email them and be like, there was one time where Blake just didn't want to go to school.
Yeah.
And it was in like the first month, and I emailed, was like, hey, like, did something happen? Just like, so I know how to like best address this, because they hadn't said anything and I didn't know how to go ahead with it. And I wasn't sure if it was just like a control thing. Like that's been a thing since Wyatt's been born. It's like she just wants to have a little bit of power, and she's struggling with that. So I just, hey, like, emailed the teacher and just said, hey, like, what's going on? And within like a minute, she called me. And she was just like so concerned that like Blake wasn't happy. She's like, oh, I thought she was having a really good time. Like, she's doing amazing. She's learning a lot. She's kind to everybody. The teachers really enjoy her. Like, she's doing great. We just had to, at one point, one of the kids was going out of the table. She followed, and we asked them to get out of the table. Maybe she didn't like that. And I was like, well, if that's what it is, like, please tell her anything. Like, I mean, she's a toddler. You're the boss. Like,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, you're not in the wrong at all, Miss Naomi. Naomi. I don't know. Blake calls her Miss Naomi, but I think it's something else. But yeah, it's just, where was I going with this?
We're talking about agendas.
Agendas. Oh no, I just like wish that I could like get some kind of an
Like,
update.
yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
that's really good. Like with the agenda, I wish that they did that for us. Or
Yeah,
did
they
get
usually
that?
write like little like blurb about his day. Just, like a couple little sentences.
They also do that on the pet sitter app.
I love that. Actually, when Henry goes to the pet sitter, we get full on pictures, and I'm like, oh.
Not it being more than their kids at school, like updates more than the kids at school.
One of the other things that I've loved with Blake going to Montessori is a lot of days she'll come home with like a little piece of paper that has like a scribble on it. And I think it's like her friends like sending notes to her.
Aww.
Yeah. Like just like, but they can't write. They're like 3 to at oldest like 4 and a
That's so
half
cute.
maybe. Like they're very young. Like it's before, how old are you in kindergarten? Like
4 to 5.
4 to 5. Okay, so I guess like the oldest is going to be 5 because it's like half day.
Yeah.
And it's just like to kind of like help you with kindergarten and the transition. So yeah, like not a lot of them are like making sense. It's like little drawings of stick people, and Blake's are always scribbles. And on her way out, like if like we're saying goodbye, like I'll come to the door and the kids are always yelling, "Where's the baby?" So I like, leave him in the car when I go in. I'm not a bad mom. All the parents know to like look out for my car and make sure that, because he's very distracting. It's just like you like pop in. I'm literally like right in front of the door, and the kids are always, "Where's the baby? Take a guess where the baby is." And then they all like come up and like give like a hug goodbye.
Aww.
They're all like, it's like teenagers. Honestly, they're like, "Bye, Blake. Love you. I love the baby." I was not prepared for this. I just like love them like growing up, and I can't imagine like our parents in those moments. Like I don't know. Like I never expected all of this. Do you remember? Like
Running home, like leaving school.
yeah. I
just remember like
Did you go to daycare though?
yes, I went to preschool. I remember nap time.
I remember nap time.
That's
I went.
all.
My mom.
In the weather. I learned about the weather. Don't know why I have that.
I can't believe you remember that.
Yeah. Well, I was 4 because we didn't have JK.
I was
I'm getting a lot of flashes right now.
I was always in like daycare though. Like I went to like an early learning center in my hometown because my mom was a single mom, and so I was going to daycare when I was a baby. And I grew up in the same daycare until I was like probably 7. So like I don't really remember like going to daycare and then like it being like a thing, because I just was always in that daycare. Like it was just something I always did. There was no like transition period for me, I don't think. Like I have no memory of it being like traumatic or like sad or like being sad at daycare, because like I just like went to daycare. Like that was just part of my every
Your day.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, how lucky we are in Canada that to even get maternity leave. And I mean, most countries do, and a lot of them have really good maternity leave. But I'm even getting a little bit anxious of thinking about going back to work. I'm still going back to work. I think it's best for me and my kids.
Any employers listening, she's going back to work.
I'm
as her
frequently
HR
asked.
representative. She has job protected leave.
But I didn't realize how reluctant day homes would be about taking a 1-year-old, and I kind of get it. Because I mean, it was pandemic. So like, I think she was about 1.5 years when she started going to daycare. I was bringing her, and she was like working on my office floor when I was in Vancouver. Like when I had to go in the office, she would like play on the floor. Like I didn't have the option to take her to daycare. And with Wyatt, he will literally be a year old when he goes. And then, but like, I ran into like one of the day homes at the park the other day, and she's like, ooh, I really need to see if I'm ready to take on a baby. Because like, she's like, I could take Blake, but like, you need for both of them. And she's like, I'm not.
It's a whole different thing.
Well,
Yeah. Like,
the rules change because my friend has a day on, and like, you can't have as many kids if they're under
2 under 2.
Yeah.
And then up to 3 under 3 to 5 years old, I think it is.
Yeah.
Per caretaker.
And there's a lot of babies out there, like, there are a lot.
And then like the other day home, like the one that I'd really like her to go to, like them to go to, she has a daughter who was born 2 days before Y. So like, what, you're gonna have 2 babies like literally 2 days apart? Are you sure you want to do that? You know, like, I you know, I don't know. Like, it's, yeah, I'm already thinking about it now. Like, I don't go back to work till September. It's, what month is it? February?
yeah.
You know?
Okay, wait. My mom and I were just talking about this because my mommy dropped me off here today, but we were just talking about this in the car. What did you struggle with working from home?
With Blake?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, first off, I don't have children.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I am auntie. I need to make sure this girl survives.
Yeah.
Till her parents get home.
Yeah.
So I would be like, and with my work, I had a lot of phone calls.
Yeah.
And a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
And she is like, let's put in the basement. Let's go outside. Also, mind you, at this point, I'm still recovering from my broken ankle. So I'm hobbling. And so this girl's like up and down the stairs. And I was like, girl, I just learned how to do the stairs again.
Yeah.
And then, so she would never like sit still. So then that was the hard part. I'm like, I need to know where she is. But then I also just felt bad because she's like, why aren't you playing with me?
I think that's what it was too, is like
So-
the confusion of like, you're the fun ones.
Yeah.
And she, like, they don't have, like, with me, like, from 4 months, I was working from home. Like, when she was 4 months old, so she like knew how to like just play and it'd be cool. And I'm also very comfortable with Blake, like, going up and down the stairs if I need to work, if she's homesick. She can go up and down stairs.
You know
But
she'll survive.
It's
I
big,
don't.
and that should be, that's probably really scary for you, right? Like, yeah.
So then the other days, I was like, I must make it up to her. And it was really, really hot. So we took the little pool in the backyard, filled it, and then we put on our bathing suits. She would just sit in there, and I'd be like, okay, she doesn't really like meals. She likes snacks. So I constantly had like a plate, and I would hold it. You know what? I like hold it in the little pool, and like just like feed her. There's like a charcuterie board of different snacks. And that's what we would do, is then I'd be getting hot, got some sunscreen on. Like, she had a cabana in the backyard. She's living her best life. So obviously she's mad when the next day I'm like, sorry, I have to go into a call. Like, don't you know the federal government needs me to be in this call? And she's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
So don't blame her. I mean, I'd rather be the fun aunt.
Yeah, like my mom and I were just talking about this because, so I was homeschooled. Like, I went to a couple years of private school, but like before that, I was pretty much homeschooled my entire school career. And my mom and I learned how to be in that. Like, she worked from home or she had other jobs, and then I would be homeschooling. And we learned how to like work together in a very like kind of different way because we were both home together. But then Zion, he's just a baby, right? And he's not used to it at all. And he wants everybody's attention 24/7. And he's the only one, so he doesn't have anybody to like play with or anything. And because my mom and I both work from home, the same home during the same hours, right? And like, he just wants our attention like 24/7. Like, he'll sit on your computer, like he doesn't care. Like, he's literally like, close that and hang out with us. What are you doing? Yeah, literally. And we just laugh because we're like, what are we we feel so bad, but we're like, what are we supposed to do? Like, this kid like will not let us work like during the day, right? And we were just talking about that. Like, it's actually such like, going to the topic of anxiety, like it actually causes me anxiety too. Like, especially if they leave me home with him sometimes during the day and stuff, and I know it's like, okay, well, I'm just not gonna work, and I don't care, like, especially if I know like I kind of work my week around that. But man, like, they left me with him for a couple days a while ago, and it was just like free for all. Zion controls the show. Didn't work, didn't email any clients back. I was just like, sorry for my delay in response. I don't know, I had a 2-year-old I was taking care of. Like, he does not care. He will close your laptop. He does not care. It's crazy.
But that's the other, like, there's a lot of things where you hear these things. Get curious, not furious. And trying to think about, like, what that child is thinking in those moments. And, okay, like, that laptop's the problem. That's what's preventing you from spending time with me. And he's, like, coming up with a solution. Fighting with it, there's no point. Reasoning with a toddler, no point.
Does not exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of amazing that you and your mom did that for so long.
What?
That you were just, like, were homeschooled.
Yeah.
And your mom was able to like, your mom sounds really cool.
My mom is cool.
Like,
my mom's really cool.
Your mom's like mom goals. I always got these, like, and I think you said this before too, very Lorelai and
Rory
Gilmore.
Yeah. There's a lot of parallels to that show. Even when I was a kid, she worked in a spa. My mom was like, yeah, she was a manager of, like, or something of a spa. So, like, very Lorelai-esque. And then Lane in that show, that's obviously my name, and I never hear that name anywhere ever, and so that's kind of weird.
Is your mom, like, quirky, like Lorelai? Like,
she's not as extroverted. No, definitely not. But she's not as extroverted. I wouldn't say my mom is, like, basic, like, at all. Like, she's pretty, like,
I don't think
herself.
Lorelai's basic, though. Like,
No, but I just mean, like, I wouldn't necessarily call her as quirky as Lorelai, but I wouldn't call her basic either. She's her own. She's her own
probably
thing.
the realistic version.
Yes,
of
I think so.
So what does your mom do now?
My mom, I don't know her exact job title, but she's done so many jobs. Like, when I think about my 25 years knowing my mother, she has done, like, so many different things. She works for a food blog.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so she makes images and does a lot of SEO stuff for food blogs.
Very cool.
She started out massage therapist when I was little. She worked at restaurants when I was baby and she was pregnant with me. And then she worked as a massage therapist for a long time. And then she worked out of college, like a teacher out of college.
That's a jump.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then she homeschooled me, and she didn't really work in that time for a couple of years. She just homeschooled me. And then she worked at my high school, actually, as a admin, something. Okay. And then now she works at the food blog thing. I feel like I'm missing jobs in there. I feel like there was other jobs in there that I'm missing. She worked for our church for a while, too. She did a really good job. I don't remember her job title, but she loved that job, and everybody loved her. Aww. Yeah. So she's done a lot of different things in, like, the 25 years that I've been alive on the planet. She's done so many things. I'm like, how do you do this? But, yeah. And now she's working there pretty much full-time, and then Zion, who's another full-time job.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, to have, like, a 25-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son, like,
that's already kind of weird, hey?
I think it's weird, but, like,
it's quirky of her.
I like the word quirky. But I don't know, like, it's just because that's, like, you're starting all over again. But
she always wanted more kids, though. Not to make this podcast about my mother, but she always wanted more kids. Like, it just never happened. And then when she met her husband, like, yeah, they just had another baby. So it's his first kid, and I was 22, so I was a lot older. But literally, he is my trial run. Like, I say that, like, jokingly, but also not. Like, sometimes I'm feel kind of bad because, like, he's getting, like, my mistakes. But then my own kids, I'm kind of going to be like, I'm not as freaked out about stuff.
Yeah,
but
like getting a third parent. Like,
yeah.
But everyone's been resentful, but you're the complete opposite.
I don't understand why people would be resentful. I've so many people tell me that. Like, the majority of people I say, like, they're like, oh, were you happy about that? I don't know, like, what the alternative would have been. Maybe I'm just not seeing something that, like, other people.
Some people view it as, like, oh, I guess I wasn't good enough. You need, like, another go-around.
I get maybe if it's, like, with the same parents or something.
Yeah. Or like, you hear sometimes where, like, they don't always love, like, the new spouse.
Like, that you're maybe forgotten about. But I feel like, but with you, it sounds like your mom, like, devoted her life to your life.
Oh, 100%.
And then now that you're fully grown, you're, like, your own woman. Like, I don't mean to be, like, mansplaining you to you, but, like, is it... She's raised you, you're good, you're this, bright, energetic, smart person who's good. Now she can kind of, like, pivot and, like, actually focus on herself for a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like now she can like be with somebody. She has a husband. Now she can like have the child, and she's like a 30-year-old all over again.
Yeah, I think too my mom's very youthful in her body, mind, spirit, soul, everything. And because she was a mom so young, like a lot of women, you know, have by their time they're like 44, 45, they have kids, but they're kids still, right? Like so many women have that. Yeah. They don't have like grown-up children. Some do, but like some don't. And so for her, I don't think it ever felt like that crazy because she wasn't that much older than like these other moms, right? She was always on the other end where she was the extreme youngest. Yeah. And now she's kind of probably on the older side, but in the mix. So I think, honestly, I think it probably feels more normal for her to have a kid now than when she did when I was little, because she was just so young. And she says that she's like, there's so many things that like are different now that I'm older, like because she's not running and she's, you know, not 20. So she's probably not as like chaotic as she was. But no, my mother is a great mom and completely devoted 22 years to me in my life and gave up so much of her own 20s and 30s to me. And I don't know. I don't think she ever felt like she gave up anything. She really just wanted another kid, and we were just excited.
But like she maybe waited before, like, not that she like nobody was being replaced. Yeah. Nobody was being. It wasn't like she was starting over. Yeah. I was okay, you know?
I was so excited when she told me, like, genuinely.
I love that.
I was really, really, really happy. Like, it was, like, such a good day. And when Zion was born, that was just a beautiful day for me. Like, it was awesome. He was just perfect. Like, they brought him home, and I was like, nope, never going back to normal. Like, he's just 100% in it now. Like, life has changed. So I remember going to bed in that night that they brought him home. Like, they brought him back the same day he was born. And just thinking, like, my life, like, will literally never be the same now. Like, this is not 100% changed my life. And, like, I could have a whole podcast just about Zion, I swear to God. But, like, he's, yeah, like, he really is, like, jokingly and seriously, like, my trial run. But he really does, like, feel like my brother, but also feel like half a kid. Like, my mom and I joke that he's, like, half a kid. Like, he's half my kid. Like, that's how it feels. Like, he's not my kid, and there's definitely that like line that I feel where I'm like, he's not 100% my responsibility, but like I would 100% take on the responsibility if I had to. That's how it feels.
Yeah, the way you talk about that is like literally how I talk about my kids.
Because if I don't know how to explain it to people, because I feel like I sound insane. I'm like, I feel that's how I feel. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna love anything more than Zion.
I think any parent would understand that feeling.
Yeah.
You know, like, and even like as an aunt, like Laura isn't technically an aunt. Like, it's only like our family. It's like she's not an aunt, but she is an aunt.
Yeah.
Like, Blake adores her, and I think you adore Blake.
Like, I would do anything for that.
Yeah.
Okay, like, now you're gonna make me cry. Whoa. Okay. Whoa.
I will beat someone.
No, I get it. I 100% get it.
If I get a phone call that something happened, I'm sorry.
No, I get it. Like, sometimes I'm like, my mom asked me the other day, like, what would you do if there was a fire? Like, what would you take? And I said, Zion. And she said, no, you get yourself out of the fire first. And I said, absolutely not, Mom. Like, there's no way I would leave him in there. I'm like, I'm going to go in your room. I'm going to grab your baby, and I'm going to leave the house. Like, that's what's going to happen. And maybe my laptop if I have time.
One arm the baby, one arm the laptop.
And we're getting out. But, like, genuinely, like, that's how it feels. Like, I would actually die for him. Like, and I don't think I've ever really felt that way about another person or child until him, because I was like, wow, like you've
got like all the like it's your sibling,
yeah,
it also feels like a kid, like you've got like all of that into one person.
And he honestly
so cool because he's the rest of your life.
Yeah, then that's the other thing. And like, honestly, Zion's like, I feel like even with the age difference, like I still kind of treat him like a little brother sometimes. Like, if he pushes me, I push him back. Like, it makes my mom laugh because like he'll just be sitting there and he'll hit me at the dinner table, like, for no reason. And he treats me very different than he treats like my mom and Yusuf, like his parents. Like, he treats them very different. And like, I will literally like shove him back and he'll do it back to me. And it's like, he understands that there's like a different dynamic between and like, I don't know, like, I think I'm a little rougher with him than my mom and Yusuf are too. Like, my mom kind of plays rough with him, but like, I don't, like, I flip that kid upside down and like wing him around, like, and he thinks it's great, and like he plays with me a little different. So it's funny because we have like a very interesting bond where it's like He'll also listen to me because he knows I have some form of authority in the house because he's 2 and you have to have authority over a 2-year-old. But he also like knows that I'm more playful. Yeah. But I don't know. It's a very different kind of relationship. Yeah. I think it's funny because like I could have kids and my mom and I could be like 100% raising kids. Like we're gonna be raising kids together. Yeah. Like it's kind of weird.
Mom, pick them up from school today.
No, literally. Like it's a little like. I always say my family needs like a TV show because like we can have these weird dynamics a lot of the time. But like my mom and I, like if I have kids within the next if I have kids in the next 5 years, which is 100% a possibility.
So nobody can steal it.
Yeah, Zion's only gonna be 7. Yeah, like we're gonna be like in that era together, which I don't know. I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else, but I just think it's funny.
Isn't that like, I feel like that's a healthy family. Like I think everybody loves, like society gravitates towards the show Modern Family because you kind of hope like I married a Phil Dunphy, you know, like we all got a little bit of a Claire in us. You know, we hope that our kids aren't going to be a Haley, but maybe a little bit more of an Alex. Yeah. And I mean, everybody's family has a Luke. Mm-hmm. So, but like everybody gravitates towards that because that's what we hope our family's going to be maybe. Mm-hmm. Like that's like the modern family. And I don't think it's weird. I think it's just an interesting thing. It's definitely interesting. But
that I feel like, but in a way, it feels like that's the only way it was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Like that's how it feels like. Now that Zion's here, like I can't imagine him not being here. And when I think about raising kids, I'm like 100% like, why wouldn't I want to be doing that with my mom? Like we've done everything else together. Because in a lot of ways, my mom and I really grew up together. Because my mom she was so young. Like we don't have that much of an age gap between us, right? So we like really grew up together. Why wouldn't we be also raising our children?
And your mom have less of an age gap.
Yep. Than me and my brother. Yep. My mom and I are 20 years apart.
Wow.
Yeah, 21 years apart. And Diane and I are a strict 22 years apart. Almost 23 years.
Wow. So funny story today. I don't usually drop Blake off at school, but today because I wanted to go get my hair cut, I asked, like I was like, oh, I'll take Blake to school just so you can come home earlier. So I go and take her to school, and there's this mom out front with who I think is the son, and I'm like, I get out and I'm standing there with Blake and like we're just chit-chatting and I'm like looking rough. Like I am still wearing pajama pants. I put on my parka even though it was quite warm because I wasn't wearing a bra. And there's definitely spit up on my shirt. There's probably something like on my face and I just looked rough. My hair was just thrown up and filthy. And there's this beautiful woman in front of me. And she's just like, good morning. We do the whole good morning. Oh, good morning. Like, so nice to see you. And then she tells you that she's this little boy's grandma.
Oh, and you want to be like, I hate you. Yeah. Go home. I hate you so much.
Like, she just looked like so put together, so young. Like
She looks that way because she doesn't have babies running around, though.
There you go. But also, she didn't look like a grandma. Like, that's where. But it definitely was a humbling experience.
But you have to remember, my grandma gets mistaken for my mom all the time. Yeah? And it's because I'm going to say this with they were all married besides my mother. But I'm the only one that surpassed the age of like 21 before having children in the last like 3 generations of my family. So we're all very young. Like I had my great-grandparents until I was 23. Like for real. Because they were like the age of grandparents, but they were my great-grandparents. Oh, wow. So my grandma was only 45 when I was born. I've just had my grandma for my whole life and probably will for the next 20, 30 years. Oh, that's amazing. So you have to remember that there are those people that like had kids generationally. Yes. And so she could only barely be like 50.
Well, she probably was only 50, but it just didn't feel very nice at 8 o'clock this morning. Yeah. When I couldn't even manage to put on a bra. But at least my kid was ready. She's killing it. I was just functional. Like I got us there safely.
She wears a uniform. I would never be able to get her in a uniform.
Oh, Blake wears a uniform? Yeah. That's so cute.
Have you not seen it?
No.
Well, I'm going to show you.
It's a bougie baby.
It's so cute.
I knew Montessori was bougie. I didn't know they made the 3-year-olds wear...
Like, even my mom said that she like rolled her eyes when I said like was going to go into Montessori. But like, it was just, we moved out of Calgary.
I think Montessori is a great school.
It is so cool. Also super popular in the UK. And everyone in the UK also wears uniforms, so I
love it.
I think it's adorable.
And she actually loves her uniform now too. She can't say uniform very well. It sounds like unicorn a lot of the time. But man, is it cute.
Like, she's basically Madeline.
Yes. That was another squirrely, spirally episode. I don't really remember what we talked about, but it was really fun. What are we talking about? Love is Blind.
Love is Blind. Children going to
Children being
preschool.
obsessed with children in our lives.
Yep.
And I mean, I think there's another good one.
Kill Dave.
Kill
Dave.
That's the
Kill Dave, marry Daniel.
yeah. Dan was a good guy.
I don't remember who we all said we'd sleep with.
Didn't matter.
It probably mattered.
Just kill Dave.
All right.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Good Girls Have Anxiety. Follow us on social media to hear more about what we have coming up.